Kingston, #1, Godfrey McAllister. Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Godfrey McAllister.
When I was about 10 years of age, a girl I liked confided with me and she said to me, look, anybody that I meet that I really like, I try to remember. Of course, I was beginning to feel good. Then she looked at me and said, but in your case, I don't want to remember him. At 10, make that 12 years of age, I was age 12. I was so modern that a cricket-loving Englishman, who was a friend of the family, looked at me and refused to call me by my name Godfrey. Instead, he called me God Sticks. Why are you calling me that? He said, when I look at your legs, it reminds me of that cricket wicket. Except that your sticks, aka legs, are a little bit longer. And just so you get the picture correctly, my head then was as big as it is now. No wonder half of my double-barrel nickname at school was Big Head Man. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. There are things about our past that we all would like to change, if only we could. Some people would like to change the place of their birth. Others would like to get rid of a relative or two. And in my case, I would have liked to change the size of my head. But you know something? We can't. So here are some suggestions. Why don't let us do the things that we can do? 1, we can accept our past for what it is. 2, we can analyze our present, paying special attention to the weaknesses in our lives, but firmly focusing on the strong areas. And 3, we can aspire to become the very best that God intends us to be. Wow, that sounds good, eh? Yeah. But when I was age 12, it was a totally different something. You see, when I was 12 years of age, I could easily have won the world championship for stuttering. And when I say stuttering, I mean stuttering. Look, I stuttered so badly that I was mortally afraid of greetings like, how do you do? Because I didn't want to repeat the word do at the wrong place. And so, because of that, my friends called me Big Head, Stammering Mac. At the age of 12, peer group pressure means everything. But my best friend in those turbulent years of peer group pressure was my mother. For she, like Jesus, looked beyond my faults and saw my need. But I was a normal boy. Oh yes, except for the big head and the maga leg and the stammering tongue. I was quite normal. And I wanted to have a girlfriend like any other boy. So it was on that fateful day after I celebrated my 14th birthday that I decided that enough was enough. I had to put an end to this. For the last 6 months, I'd invested all my time and emotions falling in love with Joy. Yes, on a few occasions we had exchanged a distant wave, but that's all. And I decided that now was the time. I attended Queen's College, and she attended Bishop's High School. Now, Queen's College and Bishop's High School were opposite sides of Middle Street. So, at lunchtime, the boys from Queen's College would jump on their bicycles and ride down to Middle Street to meet their girlfriends from Bishop's. And every month, I too would jump on my bicycle and ride down to Middle Street. But alas, for me, there was no one to meet. Then on that fateful day, I decided that I would get to Middle Street before anybody else. Joy was nowhere in sight. And all of a sudden, as I anticipated what was about to happen, I began to breathe heavily. My chest began to palpitate. I could feel my entire body being washed in cold sweat. Then I saw Joy in the distance coming with her friends. I let Joy and her friends pass by because I thought it was strategic for me to attack from the back. I rode up behind Joy, and all I wanted to say was, "Hello, Joy." But what I found myself saying was, and before I could finish calling her name, Joy and her friends began to laugh. And they laughed and they laughed and they laughed so much that Joy and one of her friends almost fell off the bicycle. Then I heard a shrill sounding voice. It was the voice of the girl I loved. She said at the top of her voice, "Oh, man, big ass covering, man!" Tears blinding my eyes. My already fragile ego structure shattered. I obeyed. That day I rode my bicycle home faster than I had ever done before. I crashed open my gate, threw my bicycle down, ran up the stairs to the top story of my 3-story house, barged into my bedroom, locked the door behind me, threw myself across the bed and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried myself to sleep. If you ask me how long I slept, I would have to say, I can't recall. But when I awoke, I was startled. I had locked my bedroom door. But when I awoke, there was somebody in the bedroom there with me. Who do you think it was? Yeah, man, go and watch those on TV. I awoke in front of a full-size mirror, and for the first time, I came face to face with myself. As I stopped and stood and stared in unrelenting unbelief, slowly it dawned upon me that I wasn't handsome. And that was the turning point in my life. That was the time when I realized I accepted my past. I realized that I wasn't handsome. And then I decided to make the very best of what was left. At age 18, I stopped staring. At age 18, the rest of my body caught up with the size of my head. And yes, but more importantly, I realized that I should learn to accept my past. I realized that I had learned to analyze my present. I realized that I had aspired to become the very best that God intended me to be. And yes, I had attained some of my goals. Girls, no problem. No problem. But Joy, I had outgrown her. But when I realized that she was in my past, what impression she made on my life would forever last. Joy, Joy,